Michelle Dale for virtualassistant-live.com and valive.tv. Now, if you are a virtual assistant, you may at some point have had the question asked to you, maybe in a social situation or online, what do you do for a living? And you can obviously say that you own your own business, and you can say that you're a virtual assistant. And most of the time, people may come back to you and say, well, what is a virtual assistant? Now, if these people are not potential clients, you can sort of go into a kind of an elevator pitch and that type of thing, try and explain it. You know, if it's just, you know, you're having a chat with someone in a bar maybe and you don't really think that it's a business situation, then, you know, by all means, you can do your best at trying to explain what a virtual assistant is to that person. But if you are trying to secure a client and you are trying to explain to a client what a virtual assistant is, you may want to change tactic, because if the client is not familiar already with virtual assistants and knows what they are and they're completely oblivious to what a virtual assistant is, then you will need to rethink how you're going to communicate with that client in order to talk their language, because their language is not the language of, you know, the virtual assistant world. If they don't know what a VA is, you're probably going to be not doing yourself any favors if you start doing a little elevator pitch about what a VA is. I realized this very, very early on in my business when I was actually in a print shop. And on the blog post today, I'm going to explain exactly what you need to do and what I should have done in this situation. I fudged up, really. I ended up working for the client, but I kind of took the long way round. But we're in a print shop and he walked in and I was standing in the shop and he said to the guy in the print shop, you print business cards. Do you know anybody who designs business cards? Now, this was like really early on. We're talking like maybe the first week or something that I actually launched my business. And I followed him out of the shop, like a little bit like a stalker. And I basically said, are you looking for someone to design your business cards? And he said, yeah. And I said, great, I can do that. I'm a virtual assistant. And then, you know, that was the worst thing I could have told him, because he started like going, well, what is a virtual assistant? And I really tried to explain so hard, you know, because I was very new to the industry, I was doing all the kind of things like, you know, working at your fingertips, using the latest technologies online, and it was just so beyond him. He just wanted business cards. And the fact is, I should have actually just said, yes, I design business cards amongst other things, you know. So it's really about talking your client's language. And at the end of the day, if you're looking to secure a client for quite a large amount of work, you know, some of us have like a kind of minimum that we want to take in order to make it a viable option for us to you know, work with the client. In this case, in many cases, I've found that if you start off small and you start off with just what they need, just what they really want to hear, then you can hook that client in and you can sell other things off the back of working with them, growing with them, learning their business. And, you know, to be honest with you, when I'm a client, I don't know immediately everything that I can do for them. And this kind of happens over time as I see their business, as I see how they work, as I see the kind of business that they're doing. You know, I'm not going to know it immediately in a consultation. I can speculate the things that I am going to be doing for them or I could do for them. But to be honest with you, you know, if you're a good consultant, you will learn over time more of the finer details about a client's business and how you can help them. So don't, you know, plunge straight in with everything that you can do and all the services that you can offer, because it may just send them into overwhelm, especially like this guy, if he like really just needs someone to do his business cards. Then obviously you can say, well, you know, do you have a website? You know, let's check out your other marketing materials. What is it you're doing in your business? That type of thing. Anyway, I did the business cards for him. And I did a few other things as well eventually. But really the post today over on the blog is about talking your client's language and how to explain being a virtual assistant without telling them what a virtual assistant is and allowing them to kind of learn that over time. It's really not your client's fault that they don't understand. It can be a little frustrating for you, but also as well, if you try this new tactic and this new method, it may kind of ease your frustration a little bit, and you can kind of, you know, find a level playing ground that you can work on with the client in order to kind of introduce him to, to virtual assistants and the things that you can do for them. So I hope this post helps, and as always, I welcome your comments, and I'll see you on the next video.